Hey guys, this is the Demon Corpse, and today we'll be talking about the Silent Hill Legacy Collection and will it happen? And I would say yes, it will happen probably in 2025. And why am I talking about this now? I would say I'm talking about it now because why not? Because it's something that I think a lot of people would want because most people do not want to pay 200 bucks or 300 bucks for a Silent Hill game. Let's be honest here, most people don't. And I would say if you ever do find a Silent Hill game for, a great price, I would say grab it. Grab it. I would say under 60 bucks. If you're lucky enough to find a Silent Hill game for under 60 bucks, grab it because those games always go up in price and they don't really go down in value. And they're very collectible if you're lucky enough to find one. But as a whole, I hope it's a good port. I mean, it's probably going to be 60 bucks and I highly doubt it'll be in a PlayStation exclusive. I think Sony cares more about remakes and remastering their games, or mostly just remakes because they want to make all the money they can, let's be honest here. And that's probably what will happen. And Silent Hill 2 will be going to Xbox at some point. It's just right now an exclusive. And I get why, because I think Konami doesn't think the Silent Hill franchise is that popular. I know that's probably not true in one aspect. I know the Silent Hill series is extremely popular, but the thing is, I think they don't think the audience is there because of what happened with PT and the last couple of Silent Hill games like Homecoming and Downpour and a couple of Wii games and PSP and yeah, PSP, including PS Vita. So I would say the Silent Hill series has been going down an interesting path, and we have seen Silent Hill in Dead by Daylight, so yeah. And with all the, including the lovely HD collection we got, that was a complete disaster because of how bad the source code was, because they did not preserve the source code. And it's so crazy to me that most of these Japanese companies did not preserve the video games. They didn't, and I get why, because they didn't think they would be re-releasing the games. It was just then and then next game. So yeah, there's a lot of things they should have done, I would say, when they thought about these games. But hey, it isn't. They didn't think of it as a movie or soundtrack or music. So yeah, and video games are just a bunch of codes, and it's very difficult to preserve. Well, it isn't. It probably isn't that difficult, but that's why we have emulation, and that's what kept these games alive. The Silent Hill franchise as a whole with emulation, because most of these games you can play on your phone. Let's be honest. So even the PS2 games like Silent Hill 2 and 3, including 1. Let's be honest here. I think Silent Hill 1 was on the Game Boy something, the Advance, I believe. I believe maybe, but it was only released in Japan only, so it's like a visual novel Silent Hill game, the first one, but more visual novel-ish. You can look it up, I believe. It's a whole other experience, I believe maybe, but that's a game that I highly doubt I'll ever find, and I have probably have no plans of getting it because I don't want to collect Game Boy. Not a big fan of the Game Boy. Hell, that probably would be in the Legacy Collection as well. The little add-on because if you don't know what's going on, even Metal Gear Solid Legacy Collection is getting a lot of add-ons as well, like a little bit of visual novels that were released on the PSP and physically and digitally, and a couple of other things. And that's probably what will happen with the Legacy Collection for Silent Hill. They're gonna add a lot of things like the Silent Hill experience that was released, even that Game Boy Silent Hill game. I believe it was on the Game Boy or Game Boy Advance, maybe one of those systems. So, ooh, yay! And a couple other things as well, like I don't know which version of Silent Hill they're gonna use when they port the games, like Silent Hill 2, because there's a PC port, a PS2, and an OG Xbox port. If they have a good source code, but I highly doubt it. Even Silent Hill 3, but they're probably gonna use emulation and try to make use of that, or they're gonna really put in the actual budget and make an actually good port, maybe. But you never know. As a whole, you just don't know. And then there's even Origins, Downpour, and Homecoming. That's probably going to be in like the Legacy Collection too, because I think they're going to make like 3 Legacy Collections if they are successful. And I do think they're not going to get like a full-blown retail release. I think they're going to be released by limited run games, and that's probably going to be the only way you can get them physically because Konami doesn't think they're going to be that profitable, and that's just how Konami is. That's probably what they're thinking as a whole. And that would suck, but hey, I mean, as long if how much I don't really like a lot of things Limited One Games does, they do a good job sometimes with physical releases, but they do need to fix their shipping. Their shipping is crap. But I don't know. The only games I bought from them was those last two 3DS games that they did. Those are the only ones. Those are like my first ever Limited One games I've ever gotten from them, and I have no problems with them. They work perfectly. I've done unboxings. You can look at them if you want to. And this was before the whole situation that happened a couple of months ago. And I was like, holy cow. Well, I was like, oh well, we bought this stuff anyway, and I'm happy I have it. But yeah, I mean, what can you do? Like I just bought the games. I didn't know what was going on. There's always some weird drama that goes around with limited one games. Yeah, they got those weird double standards, you could say, but besides that, I would say it's going to happen. It's going to probably be 60 to I if it's $70, that's a hard gamble. I hope it's just 60 or even 40, but you never know. But if it does get announced, you may want to get that copy, let's just say, because it's going to be expensive. It's going to be really expensive. And I do maybe the value will probably not because it's gonna be if it's gonna be a limited release, if I can say my R's correctly, it's probably gonna still make those games extremely expensive. But I hope that's not the case, and I hope it gets like a full-blown retail release at Best Buy, Target, GameStop, and Walmart, and you can just go and get the copy. But you never know. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to support me, go to my Odyssey channel. And are you guys hyped for a Silent Hill Legacy Collection if it does happen? I hope it does, but you never know. But that's about all. And I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya, scavengers.